It has Christmas bulbs on it. Isn't that funny? How cute, huh? Move this back down. Anyway, so again, a coworker closed down so early it was beyond belief. But this girl, she's worked here like 2 years, apparently, and she has a second job. She's a hostess at a high-end dinner house. Two, that she stays on the phone, and I mean on FaceTime of some sort, with some guy from the minute she gets into work all the way till she leaves. And she will even go in the dressing room and camp out in there. I mean, you literally have to go look for her because she will be gone for hours at a time. Even, and she doesn't care if that phone got to run. It got to run all the time. Sometimes she'll be sitting on the shoe trying bench for hours, FaceTiming with some dude. She's even had the thing up at the counter, laying in the middle of the counter with customers there, FaceTiming. I mean, it is really strange. But and then I was waiting to take my lunch, like for a couple hours. She wasn't even around. I thought she was on her lunch. And the boss said, oh no, she already had her lunch. I was like, oh, well, she just got back and didn't clock back in because she took off. And they let her do it. They don't say anything to her. 2 years. I wouldn't have a job if I did junk like that. But anyway, so tonight at 5:30, we weren't supposed to close anytime before 6. And I think it was till 7. Let me see. It might have been till 7. Because they do that too. They close whenever they feel like it. My cool coworkers. And that's without management approval. Okay, yeah, it was till 6. Okay, so 5:30, she takes and drags in all the displays outside. Then she kills all the lights in half the store. So it's pitch black on one half of the store. And then locks that door. We have 2 front doors. And she locks that one door. And I was like, oh my gosh. 5:30. So I just sold a top to a lady for like $50. About 5:45. About 10 people come in that are from India. You know, they're big money. And they're looking around for stuff and touching stuff, looking at stuff. So you know they're going to buy something. And I mean, it was hard to believe. She turns around and locks the other front door while these customers enter. And that's against OSHA. You can't lock customers in a store unless it's by appointment only, like a jewelry store or something like that. But the law reads, especially for fire safety, you don't lock customers in a store. And I mean, we had a bunch of people. I was so mad. You just have no clue. But I really can't say anything. I'm a training manager, but I was not happy. Because they do this all the time. They'll close an hour or 30 minutes early. And they can't figure this out. You know, like there's video. And then there's record of, you know, when they count out the bank and everything and enter the information on the computer. the time when the safe is opened, and clock out time, and all that cool stuff, and when the alarm is set. All those have record of time. Like, who do they think they're really fooling? You know, other than the fact it shorts my payroll out. You know what I mean? She'd already counted the bank down and all that stuff. Before I was bringing up the sales and that, it was like, man, this is our paycheck coming in the door. We're supposed to at least be open till 6. But no. And the dude she FaceTimes with came in at about 5 o'clock and was wandering around the store like he was lit on I don't know what, and was singing off key, and like he was making up his own song going, it's time to leave, it's time to go. And it was the only time she wasn't on the phone. But and she'll even unplug this display. We have this display, and she'll go and unplug it, and it has on there, do not unplug this. But she'll unplug the display, and then she'll plug her phone in. Because I'm like, this girl gotta have an ultimate charging phone to run all day long through the evening on FaceTime. I mean, my phone wouldn't do that. Yeah. And mine's got a pretty strong battery. But I don't know, you guys. Just nuts. But I mean, it's every day. On that phone on FaceTime from opening to close. I mean, she'll sit down and park it. The bad part was I went out front and straightened up some of the inventory and stuff. And then I went outside, right outside the building for, a 5-minute break. And I guess all the time I was doing all that, she was way in the back of the store, sitting on a bench, doing FaceTime with dude, and these women were in there standing at the counter waiting for 15 minutes to ring out. And one lady just plain walked out. The other lady walked out. She came up to me as I was walking back in the store, and she says, I can't believe they don't have anybody to check anybody out in the store. There's nobody working here. And I said, I'll take care of you. I went walk around looking for this other girl. She was way in the back. She'll hide in the dressing room, too, and shut the door and be on the phone for hours. You won't be able to find her. Unreal. But, yeah, so, I don't know. Such silliness. But, I mean, that's our paycheck with those customers coming in. Every time they make a purchase, that's towards our paycheck. So it's just sad. But I don't know. I hope you guys had a good day today. We got one viewer on here. How are you doing today? I hope you had a very blessed and profitable day today. I got a mac and cheese. It's pretty good. And it's really cold. It is so darn cold. It's beyond belief how cold it is. This week. It'll be in the 20s and 30s too. At night. It's so funny because all the tourists come down and they're like, so, how do you like this weather? So, why is it so cold? And it's like, well, we have winters and weathers just like everybody else does. It's Florida. It's tropical. And it just, it's wintertime. It does get cold. I've seen it as low as 15 degrees in Florida. And that was just like 5 years ago. And Navarre, Florida. I was at work, trying to leave work, and my battery died in my tent light. Yep. And I thought I was going to camp it out. But no. And my boss and his wife said, well, you should just come to our house. I'm like, oh, I can't leave the car here and all my stuff. And they're like, okay, it's going to be cold. I'm like, yeah. When that temperature kept dropping and dropping, boy, they were like, call us anytime all night long. It'd be close to like at 2 or something like that. And it was like, dude. So I took and ended up calling them about 3:30 in the morning. Okay, I give up. They're like, we figured you would. It was so cold. Woo, buddy. So they came over and I followed them over to their house because I hadn't been to their house before. And that was fantastic. It was so darn cold. Woo. Yep. Right. I mean, last week it was warmer, but you can never predict the winters in Florida. Sometimes they're real hard winters, sometimes they're light, sometimes they're long, sometimes they're short. Yep. So, you never know. So, did everybody have a great day today? We got 2 people on here right now on the live. I hope you had a terrific day. I'm sitting here munching down on this macaroni and cheese. It's pretty darn good. Got a thumbs up. Yay. Thank you very much. I'm almost done. Yep, $1.47. So, I'm on Wi-Fi, but my internet's acting kind of weird. Let's see, we're still traveling. Still trying to go on the internet, but I don't think it's working right. So, have you ever had a coworker that closed the business down before they're supposed to be closed? These people do it all the time. What do you do? I'm going to go check my other job. See if they need me for a little bit tonight because I could hang around for an hour or 2 over there. Not too bad to drink. But they've been busy over there in the day shifts. But they had me scheduled for 3 shifts over there this week, which I could not do. And I left a note for the manager 3 days ago about what I had available. I guess she still hadn't got it. Got to go over there and check today and see if she's got that note yet and changed the schedule yet. I was like, only work 2 days over there this week. And I'm all booked out. So now I'm riding right at 40 hours. And before I was having trouble just getting 40 out of 2 jobs. So they transferred an employee. They've been waiting on transferring for weeks. So my one job, they finally transferred that employee out, which opened the hours up. Which they had told me that when they did that, it would the opening hours up anyway. So, yep. I haven't done any whatnot auctions in a while. So I've been so busy working. And I've been listing stuff on the internet like every day. And I haven't had any sales this week on the internet yet. Strangely enough, but you know, if they order after the 21st, it's not going to make it by Christmas anyway. So, yep. But we're supposed to be picking up in sales on the internet here. Right now through January. We'll see what happens. Cold though. It is really cold. Who's that? I love those type of workers. Don't you though? And if let them get away with it, this girl will not get off the damn phone. I mean, she's got it on the live, you know what I mean? She's face to face with some dude. And here's what's really funny. She had said she was gay. And there's Carl, what's up? And so, you know, she's always on the phone with this dude. And then when we closed one night, the dude came up and was wrapping himself all around her. And I'm like, I don't know. But, so how's everybody doing? I bet your weather's about 15 degrees warmer down there in the Tampa area, baby. It's so cold up here, it's beyond belief. It really is. And it's going to be worse this week. 20 and 30 at night. Last night was so darn cold. Mother God, it was cold. Ugh. Yep. Yeah, new employee, and I got this giant bag of wedge potatoes for $1.47. Look. Yep. Yeah, 3 people on the live. Woohoo! How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing fantastic. Yeah. Yep. Trying to ride on their Wi-Fi, but their Wi-Fi's weak. It's real weak tonight. I'm going to get Arctic cold by Christmas. I bet you are. And where are you at again, Carl? Aren't you like Ohio or something like that? Atlanta, Georgia. Mother gotta be cold, dude. Icicles of snot. Man, you gotta be iced down already. Woo. Been to Atlanta many times. Watch these people, man, because they're real doofus when they're backing out. And like all the way up to the curb. But yeah, so got my milk. And please don't hit my car. They've been banging the devil out of it lately. Okay, excuse me now. That's good. we're getting sunshine for Christmas. Yeah, well, it'll probably snow here. Going to only be 32 on Christmas night. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I hate that cold weather. Whoa, don't like it. Did it for years in Memphis for big money. Boy, Atlanta, boy, that's some cold, cold weather, pal. I gotta tell you. One time I was deadheading from, let's see, I went to left Huntsville, went down to Columbus, Georgia, deadheading to Atlanta because Mario called me for his clubs up there to bring some gowns for the girls. And dude, I had my brand new Cadillac. It was like 2 months old. And let me tell you, it was so dark on that expressway. I drove probably about 30 minutes, and I was watching the temperature on my dashboard, the outdoor temperature, as it dropped and dropped and dropped. And then the ice turned to black ice. And I said, I'm not going for this. And I had to wait till the next exit and turned around and said, this is a no-go. Absolutely not. No. I knew it from Columbus, Georgia. Heck, Atlanta had to be much worse. But back then we didn't have like real GPSs and all that. And that guard, that was a new thing to have a temperature gauge inside of the outside. Yeah. Yeah. We didn't have phones that went on the internet back then. Had to pay by the minute. Track phone. Track phone and Suncom. I had one of those. They got pricey. Yep. Right. It's really cold right now. And it'll probably be about 39 tonight, something like that. 38. Yeah. It was really cold on the water though today. Man, that wind chill factor cranked right up, to where it's like minus 10 of what it is. 4 people stalking and no one talking. Huh. Yeah, isn't that weird? We have eyes. I do get a lot of watchers from overseas. I do get a lot of those. But probably never maybe visit one day. Oh, Kyle's not going to move back to Florida. A lot of money in Atlanta, that's for sure. Did you go there for work or relatives? Or love? It may have been very important. You guys ever watch that guy that has that lobster that he bought at the grocery store and put it in a fish tank? He's on YouTube. He just moved from his house to Georgia to his girlfriend's house in Georgia. Yep. And that is so sweet. He does some really cool videos. He'll get all attached shooting in and you start watching his videos. They're amazing. But he bought a grocery store lobster and put it in a fish tank and made it better. It was just amazing. I've been busy dashing. Oh, really? Are they tipping? Huh. One of my coworkers ordered DoorDash yesterday. She didn't even throw the guy a cash tip. And the guy was like in such a big hurry. He wasn't even nice or anything. He just like dropped it off and ran. It was like, whoa. Yeah, if you give them really good service and you let them know you're coming and all that good stuff, they will tip you. And usually come out to your car. They're real good about that. Uber Eats? Really? Yeah, Uber Eats, I don't think you even have to go in. Don't they just meet you on the street with Uber Eats? I tried to sign up for Uber Eats, and that was a big mess because people that had my phone number before had it registered on Uber Eats, and it would never really approve my account. It was a mess. I still get so many calls from people have the number. God, constant from doctors, you name it. I even had the chick sending me text messages going, just accept the code, just accept the code, because I've got to get into my account. And it's like, no. Yeah. Then I get calls and texts in the middle of the night going, oh, well, how are you doing? Hey, and stuff. And I'm like, oh. And they're looking for that other person. Oh, man. It's trying so hard to rain, it sprinkles for the last, like, 2 hours. It's trying really hard to rain. Trying its best. Yep. Man, that milk is good. I got to tell you. It sure is. So I hadn't heard anything on my coworker that got transferred up north. I'm sure it's going to get really nasty. But my boss bought me lunch yesterday. That was really nice. Couldn't believe it. It was so awesome. We had some great talks and about saved my coworker's life. We put her on some really bad stuff. I'm not a doctor, but I researched it on the internet and right in front of me. And I said, here's the side effects. You're having all of them. I said, I would be like, so done. But thank God she didn't take it today. Because she was about ready to black out yesterday several times. It wasn't good. So, yeah. But here's on my call. Thank you. Yeah, and then my old boss, gets he's out of town, and these people have taken so much advantage of him on the clock, it's beyond belief. It's like, dude, I wished I could have done that, but I'm just too honest for all that. I'm just, one of those people that could have got away with it a million times, but I couldn't do it because I just would have a guilty conscience. I don't like people steal from me, so I don't like them to steal from anybody else. But when the Joker's like sitting on the clock for 2 to 3 hours past when they should have closed, that's ridiculous. Yeah. It's like, go out there and tell them, when you see them doing it, you go tell them, da da da. It's like, dude, it's probably better that they don't know who's watching. And two, like, I'm not getting paid for this. I do have a huge devotion for that company, but I'm not getting paid for it. So, I'm helping folks out at, it's like not my job. Is that how they say it? Not my job? comes up tonight. I'll tell you that much. Yep, I paid my Auto Club thing today, my towing membership. And she was like, "Well, you want the cheap one?" And I said, "No, better stick with the most expensive one." It looks like they cut back a lot of the privileges on it. There are 3 different levels on them, and um, so really the only one to get is the premier one, which is the most expensive one, the Auto Club. And it's like $100 a year. But I'm gonna tell you, it's worth it. If you don't have it, do get it. I used to have towing coverage and all that under Allstate when I had Allstate, but because I used it because I was on the road a lot and things happen, and then people trying to steal my car repeatedly. Um, I mean, you break down on the roads, you get a flat, whatever, um, and uh, you know, it turned out that Allstate, like they wanted to kill my account because they said I had too many claims. I said, "Excuse me," and I have zero deductible fire, theft, and vandalism. That's just as a rule, and that's because of from working at the clubs, and from bartending, waitressing, and all that. If you're anywhere near liquor, you got to have total coverage insurance because people get drunk, they get in fights over your car, and you have nothing to do with them. They just do. Uh, Heck, I had my car parked down the street, and 2 dudes got in a fight over my car and knocked the mirror off my Camaro. I mean, yeah. Um, I had one where 2 dudes were fighting and pushed the guy into the side of my car, so then I could no longer open the door. Yeah, I but and I had a guy back into my Camaro on college campus from way across the parking lot because some girl was in his car at lunchtime doing the Wawa dance on him, and he floored it and went reverse and hit the side of my Camaro. I had to jump in and out like Starsky and Hutch for like a year till I could take it all apart and try to fix it. I ripped many a pants on the door lock, but yeah, the good coverage is great. The only thing is that if you use the same towing company as your insurance company, they're going to get you. They call it a claim. So if they jump your car, it's a claim. If they come out and fix the flat, change tire, it's a claim. If they bring you gas because you run out, it's a claim. Everything's a claim. And so when you get all claimed out, they like want to terminate you. So go get Auto Club, AAA, AAA, towing, and I mean I've had mine towed across the states all the way to Georgia when my van blew its radiator. Yeah, and we were door dashing down in Picola, and they didn't charge me a cent, and they went over state line with no problem. We're all state, they throw a big hissy fit and tell you they're going to charge you $200 or $300 extra if you go 1 mile over state line and all that kind of junk. So, but with Auto Club, you don't have that problem. So, it works out so much better. Um, but it's really worth it. And they have 3 different memberships. Plus, you can get other kinds of insurance, like I think house insurance and all kinds of different insurances. Um, but you will get a discount on your car insurance um, if you get a membership with Auto Club, and you get all kinds of other cool discounts on top of it. Yep, you would be surprised all the deals you get. Even with hotels, you get discounts. Purchasing stuff online, you get discounts. I saw some stuff today. I was like, man, I just missed a really cool discount right there. Um, but yeah, it's really well worth it. When I left home, that's the first thing I bought was an Auto Club membership. They were really cool. But yeah, I learned my lesson now. I did take I, I ended up out of Allstate, got this other company, and they were just too expensive. And they were just raising the prices. They give you a real good deal when you get in, and it gets really expensive. It was some clicky name company, and they this joker's just now realizing there's a car here. God, must be beginning driver. And I got out of that company, and I didn't even realize that Auto Club carried car insurance. And the girl's like, you should, check it out because you get a really good discount because you already have the Auto Club membership. I was like, really? And so I said, well, start talking to me here. And then she told me that I could cancel my other insurance and they would have to refund me. And I never got a refund before from an insurance company. And I've done that because it made me mad and never got a refund. Um, uh, so I had one that was insured contents, and for every price I paid for every item, I put a high dollar stereo in my Camaro, and they stole my flipping stereo. And then next they when the guy backed into my car from across the parking lot at college campus and caved the door in to where you couldn't open it anymore, they wouldn't pay. And I'm like, what the heck? And my dad told me, he said, cancel that insurance. I never got any refunds from them. When I went down there, they said, oh, you're not covered. And then they asked me my name. So how do you know I'm not covered if you didn't get my name first? That's what I want to know. Shady company, right? Yep. So if you don't have Auto Club, do look into it. And if you want to switch any of your insurance around, you get really big discounts from them. Yeah. Who's this? Knowledge and wisdom. How are you? I never knew about Auto Club membership until today. Hey, let me tell you something else. A buddy of mine, it's manager of auto department at Walmart in Fort Walton. He was so mad at his insurance company, and they had raised his house insurance up so high. He's only had one claim ever. He owns his house, and he and his wife were just like fried. And so he was telling me, man, they just are killing me on the house insurance. And this was like in the beginning of the pandemic. And I said, look, if I were you, I would call Auto Club and see what they can offer to you for house insurance and then go down and buy their membership. Wow, I was just by the fudgery, hanging in there trying to see one right. And the district manager just sent me a message. We're closed. Where at? Because I sent a message. You guys closing early too. He's not there today, and the employees were already pulling it up. He left the store with 2 employees when he's usually there all the time. Yep, shady folks. Yep. So please don't hit in my car. But yeah, so um, other than that, yeah, he checked out Auto Club, got a membership, and got house insurance with him. Is so much cheaper. I know it hurts businesses so bad. How would you like to own that business? Sucker be shutting the doors, before the time with customers and stuff. That's insane. And these customers are so easy. They come in with $100 bills and they just like run around, pick what they want, and bring it to the register and check out. Boom. And I mean, I take $100 bills in all day long. Yep, all day long. Yep. And if it's not, it's credit cards. And that will be $200, $300, $400 sales at a time. Boom, boom, boom. Yep. So I had to even get on a ladder and go up in the ceiling to pull a display down today. A really big ladder. And I was like, but it was for a young man. He was probably about 15, 16 years old. Great guy. And he, really wanted that item. It's one of my favorite things in the store. And I said, if I have to sell you the display, by gosh, I'll do it, because we were out of it. We've been out of it, and we just don't know when they'll ship anymore of those. And it's the neatest thing. And so he said, yeah, I want that exact one. And I said, it shall be done. And so I went back and I dragged that big ladder out. I didn't even know if I could even lift it to take it out there. It was so big. And I had to go way up in the ceiling. Let me tell you what. Woo-hoo-hoo, boy. Um, and I brought a hanger so I could pull on the lines to get them down close to me to cut it loose, because I had never pulled a display down before. We had a guy there, and he used to do a lot of that. Or if the main manager there, he's a guy. He's the one that hangs all that junk up there. But yeah, and I pulled that down for him, and he was just so excited. And then my boss gave him a free gift, so he didn't have to buy an extra accessory, which would have been with the item if it was still in its box, but it wasn't, because it's a display. But the displays don't last long. And it's like, if you run out of that item, that's all you got is the display. If they want it, you'll sell it to them because they want it bad. Trust me. And so the nice thing about it is they're just not up there that long. I mean, we're talking like, maybe 4 months they'll be on display. 4 months or less. So it's not like stuff that's sat up there for like 10 years or anything like that. But yeah, he was sure excited when I brought that one down. He even came over and got it from me while I was trying to lower it down from the ladder and everything. And he was just thrilled to bits. He's just so excited. And I was really excited for him. And he paid for it out of his own pocketbook. Yeah, that young man paid for it out of his own pocketbook. Amazing. And he was with his dad and stuff too. But very responsible young gent, I will say. Very impressive. And so polite. He was just charming. And yeah. And then I gave him a book that we have that's discontinued. And we had one left. And so it's discontinued, so it becomes a giveaway. And so it was a book pertaining to the item that he bought. Um, and and kind of has some catalog stuff with it too. And so I turned around and I said, "Here, you need this." And so he was like all excited. He's like, "How much is that?" I said, "Don't worry about it. The book's discontinued. It's the last one in the store. It's yours." And he was like totally blown away. So he got 2 free gifts, and one for management and one for management trainee. And he was just happy as a clam. And I was happy for him. Really nice to wait on him. Very much a pleasure. And and his daddy. Daddy was a fine gentleman too. So I deal with some really really great customers that have a lot of money. Um, I'm saying like 98% of them have bank, and they're very pleasant. Um, and I do deal with a lot of tourists too, but they're very pleasant. You know, I worked Destin for 5 years, and the tourists are like terrorists. It was absolutely horrible. It was really, I mean, every day it was like walking into the doors of hell. You didn't know what was going to happen next. You just held your breath, hoping you could get through and have a peaceful, happy day. And sure as heck, boom, some bullcrap drama come up. And you just gotta hold your breath because you can't, tell them how you feel. You can't get snotty with them. You can't be a jerk. You have to be careful because you can get reported, to the mall and stuff. So, we're the business. You have to be very, very careful how you handle them. Plus, you never know if you see them somewhere else. What if that's a job you apply for? And that nasty customer, you got sideways with them. You went to go apply for a job, and here they are, management. And it's somebody that's supposed to be hiring you, and they remember you. You know what I mean? You're like, no. You know what I mean? So yeah, you never know. But see how cold it's getting. That poor girl, she's freezing out there. She needs a serious jacket. Well, this girl got a haircut like my old haircut at Loma. Way, way, way back. I saw a Maserati this morning. It looked like a 280Z. It was a little white Maserati. This thing's kind of cute. That's a Scion. Do you believe that? That's a pretty nice looking little car for a Scion. I thought they made just those big box cars. That thing looks pretty racy. It's even got three-phase paint, pearl, with the white diamond on the Cadillacs. Impressive. It sounded pretty good too. But yeah. So I don't know. I hope you can stay warm tonight. Oh, I won't. I won't. It's gonna be absolutely bitter cold tonight. You can't. There's no way to run heat in a car. Um, First of all, from a jackery and all that, it just won't do it. It's. I mean, you would have to buy about a $5,000 jackery to try to run some kind of heat in a car. Um, so that's the big problem. And you don't want to leave your engine running and run the heat and try to sleep. You'll die. It is really a bad thing to do on a new or an old car. It doesn't make a difference. It is very, very dangerous. And it ruins your engine because the oil pump stops pumping when your car's in park. And it will trash your car, especially when it runs out of gas. That's even worse. Try to get the fuel pump to start working again after you run it dry. I've seen so many people break down like that, going to sleep with their car running, and they wonder why it won't run now, or they blew up the engine. There was a really young couple had a baby in a stroller. They were sleeping in a car out at Valpy, out at Walmart out there, and they were there for gosh, I don't know, a couple months. It was like one of those Charger cars, and it was nice looking on the outside. Okay, it wasn't like a rag bone. It was quite nice looking. It had a special graphics paint job on it. It was pretty clean. But they were both like, wasting tons of money on party materials. And they would be partying all night long and have the doors open and the baby be leaning there. God, it was terrible. And I knew a guy that used to park next to him all the time, and he was telling me about, oh yeah, they smoke crack all night long, and I park right next to him. They ask for money all the time to try to eat. And it's like, yeah, because there he is and all the money on dope instead of feeding their face. And what about that baby? Damn, that's just no way to live. That is not fair to a baby. So they went to the church out to Cross Point to get some help. They put him in a hotel for a week, and they pissed the hotel people off. That was the end of that. And now Cross Point does not put people in hotels that are homeless anymore because of that. And then they were getting money from them and all kinds of stuff, and they were trading it off so they could get drugs and stuff, and it was pretty bad. And then they got to be friends with the girl that used to manage the Walmart gas station out there. And I knew her. And she started offering to babysit for them, and they weren't even working. They were just like dumping the kid, for hours and hours, and they didn't even have jobs. And so then she got pissed off, and I guess called the welfare department. Got pissed off at those people, and they were just young couple. I mean, if they were like 20 each, they were just real young. And so I guess the welfare jumped in, and then the girl threw a fit at the Walmart gas station one day because she decided she was going to try to apply for a job, and the manager couldn't bring her in. She had no hours to give her um, at all, you know. And she was like waiting and waiting and going, well, how come, about it? And she threw a big hissy fit in there. They ended up calling the sheriff's on them. because the girl was throwing a hissy fit, like, how come I'm not getting hard and all this stuff. And, and I mean, most jobs you don't get hired that day. You're truly lucky if you do. It takes some time to get in. It can take a week or 2 weeks to get in on a job. You'll be super lucky if you get to work that day. Um, but mostly because they're not going to change your schedule for you. You'll have to write in on the next schedule, but and other things too. But yeah, and so the sheriffs came, and that was the end of that. And I think they both ended up in jail. They took that kid away, and then uh, I think they got out of jail after like a week or something, and then they uh, come back and got the car. They had asked for help from another church because they apparently burned the engine up on the car when they left it running all the time. And the worst part was like when it was hot, and I would drive by that woman, I would see that car in the daytime, and they'd have all the doors open, and they'd be like passed out in the front seats, you know. And there's a baby in there, and it's like, oh my gosh, that baby can crawl down in the forest over there next to that store and everything. It's just like so dangerous. Uh, and it just looks really bad. When you drive by and the doors are open to a car and people are like, you know, out in the front seats. You don't know if they're dead, alive, or what. But yeah, they kind of chased him down. Chased him down. You got to do right when you got kids. You know, there's always other people that can't even have children that would love to have kids and have money and a house and jobs and all that stuff. You either try your darndest to make it work, or sometimes you got to give in. I never had to give in. Okay, I never had to give in. I always provided for my kids. I did, I didn't get welfare. I didn't get child support. I only got child support for a couple years on my youngest child, but it was only because my ex-husband caused a bunch of ruckus, um, and tried to take claim of my daughter, stating that she was his and all that crap. And that didn't work out so hot. They should have put him in jail for that too, because he knew damn well that he wasn't her dad. And he was like signing court documents and stuff, so stupid. Yeah, that didn't work out too bad, but it backfired on her poor daddy because I never got child support from him, didn't demand any child support from him because she was honestly a business deal, no lie. And she knows that. I told her that when she was old enough. He absolutely did not want any more children. He had 5 girls already, and I was told by all the relatives and the kids that when he left after the mother threw him out, that um, he never paid child support. And his youngest was 18 when my daughter was born. And they were always so jealous of that little girl. Ugh, so silly. But yeah, so he did not want any other children. He did not want the responsibility. I took the balance of the medical bills, paid those myself. Never asked him for child support. We lived together for a short time. Um, and it just didn't work out. I threw him out twice. and uh, and then he disappeared for a lot of years. Wouldn't even have touch with her or anything. And he was actually not far away, which that was really hard on my baby, because I would like to just stayed friends, and made it nice for the child, but it didn't really turn out that way. And but then later he got slammed because my ex-husband caused so much ruckus, and the court ordered him to start paying child support. Like it was like $400 a month. But he didn't have to literally pay it because it came out of his Social Security, so it's just an automatic extra thing. But it was just for a few years, but it still wasn't fair because I never required any of that. I wanted another kid, and it was my problem. You know what I mean? It wasn't his problem, it was my problem. So, but yeah, so what do you do? But if you can't afford to take care of them and things are not working out well, you've got to make other arrangements. A child, an animal, none of that should have to live rough. I see boondockers with animals, and that's the saddest thing in the world. You know, there was a really young couple from up north that were in Daston for like a year, boondocking in a little tiny truck with a little tiny cab over with 15 animals, cats and dogs that they found, all strays, and they wouldn't cut loose of them, and they couldn't even afford to eat. Why? You know? No. And they were door dashing every day in her little, like, virtually new car. I had that truck and her little new car. It was real nice. But, yeah, and so that was really sad. And, you know, I kind of made a little bit of friends with him. And the guy said to me, he said, well, you know, he says, uh, the worst part is that people get mad about the animals. And I'm like, well, I mean, you know, if you can't afford to eat, why do you have 15 animals? You know? And I mean, they had two big dogs, big giant poodle, you know, those big tall poodles. And they also had a big Rottweiler. Can you imagine all that in that little tiny cab over truck? It was like, um, it was a little Dodge truck. I forget what you call them, those little tiny ones. And then he had a little tiny fiberglass thing over the top. And I mean, you couldn't stand up in it or anything. And they had all these animals in there. Dear God. Cats and dogs. And the cats never got out. They always had to stay in the truck. And then he would take the dogs out and walk them, and he wouldn't pick up their poopies. But you know, I'm like, why? So why did you pick Dustin? And he's like, oh, I came here a long time ago, and I really like Dustin. I said, you can't afford Dustin. I said, most of us can't afford Dustin. So you're talking like, you know, uh, $5,000 a month rent minimum, and then you have to pay deposit everything to get in. It'd be like renting in California. Are you kidding? I said, why on earth would you pick Dustin? There's no way you could afford to get a place here, especially when they won't work. They got to pay for all those animals, and you know, all they were doing was like, you know, DoorDash, and they couldn't even afford to eat. So there's no way they'd make enough money in the world to get a place. You know, you have to like get rid of all the animals and both of you go to work. He could have worked down at Harbor Walk in security or maintenance and been making really good money, you know, like $25, $30 an hour, you know. And she could have worked some little job somewhere, Walmart, 15, 16 an hour, Wendy's for almost 20, you know, and made some money and made enough to do that. But I told him, your next problem is no one's going to rent to you. With animals, period. You just, there's a place in Fort Walton, and it's on their website. It says it's like 400 for a really small animal, and for medium, it's like 700 deposit on top of all the other stuff you got to pay. That's just an animal deposit. It's non-refundable. That's not the renting deposit. Yeah, I mean it's just money, and there's a ton of no-kill shelters around here. Um, so I mean, there's no reason to make those animals have to live like that. And they were all strays to begin with. You know, why is somebody picking up strays when they're homeless themselves, and it's somebody's animals? Who do you know that's going to let a Rottweiler stray? Guess how much those cost to buy? Who do you know that's going to let the super tall black poodle stray? Those are huge money. And I mean, you know, yeah, Persian cats and everything else. Yeah. So, you know, just think about the people that own those animals, that their heart's broken, that their animal's gone. But, yeah, so I don't know. It's real funny they decided to go up to where Mr. Beast is at in like the Carolinas or something, because he wanted a DoorDash so that Mr. Beast would give him a free house. Can you believe that? Oh my my. Dream big. I don't know if that dream will come true, but dream big, I guess. Yeah, it'd be like my chances going up there, you know, to get free cars or free houses or whatever and deliver DoorDash to them. No. Especially that weather. That was in the winter. You know how cold it would be staying in that truck and all those animals and stuff. Oh, dear God. Oh, my gosh. Rough life. Not worth it. It's not fair. So, yeah. But other than that, it is getting colder by the second, you guys. Oh, my, my. It just is. Well, I'm going to go drop by my other work and see if they need me for an hour or two. Otherwise, I'll go to bed early because I'm tired. I've been working every day, every day. I'm beat. I'm really beat. I'm on my feet all day, so these aren't sit down jobs. Yeah, they definitely are not sit down jobs. I get a lot of breaks in my second job. I get legal breaks. They're really nice there. Really, really nice. And see, I'm also a stalker too, so we can we get a lot of privileged breaks and stuff, you know. But in my other job, we don't get but a lunch. That's it. So yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do. I'm working for pennies on the dollar, but you gotta do what you gotta do. I got like about 55 job offers now since I put my resume on the internet, and they're all really good paying jobs and stuff. I turned down a job managing Crocs and Destin, Destin and Sandestin for way over $20 being manager an hour, and because I'd already got these, and I was like done. It was enough. Um, I didn't want to quit jobs I just got and all that stuff, so for no reason. So yeah. But other than that, it's kind of about it, man. Just hanging tight, trying to stay warm, and it's rough. I mean, last night my heart jumped a couple times. It was so cold. It's so hard. It's really hard in extreme heat or extreme cold. So I kind of figured I wouldn't wake up this morning. But I did. I'm still here, so that's all that matters. That is going to be even colder tonight. It'll be rough. It would just be crazy. It gets so cold that my ears are freezing. I'm not kidding you. It was like frostbite ears. And it was like my feet wouldn't even stay warm. So I've got um, two sleeping bags and a blanket, and it's cold as the devil. Yeah, even with socks on and clothes on. Because you don't want to be boondocking without clothes, trust me. If the man comes knocking on the window, you best be dressed. So, yeah. But anyway, um, I mean, I even sleep with my parka on. It's so darn cold. I'm not kidding you. And it just is wretched. You know, if I can manage to, I can get a real low electric blanket, like at Walmart or something, might be able to float that possibly. I heard of people using them in storage units, and I'm like, an electric blanket in a storage unit. But I've never slept in a storage unit before, so I wouldn't know. But I just know what people tell me that they've done. I would have to look up the wattage and stuff to see if it'll clear my jackery. I might be able to float a real light duty one or a small one, and possibly be able to try to stay a little warmer. But I'm hoping this big house that I'm trying to get that I can get in there pretty soon. Maybe I was hoping it would be this week, but it's not so far. We'll see. We'll see. It's just temporary. I'll have it all by myself. It's just temporary, but um, and I'm not going to move a bunch of stuff in there. Everything will probably stay in storage. Um, but that's a possibility. Um, but that's kind of about it. I'm kind of hoping so. I mean, there are winter rates at the hotels. We're talking about $330 a week for a nice one on 98 in Fort Walton. Um, but I just have to make sure I've got enough revenue to support it. Bunk fit, it says. Parking spot 16. But, I just don't know. But anyway, but yeah, so, um, I just have to make sure I have, regular revenue. My hours going to be over 40, but the storages are covered, are, um, soluble. So my, it was glass. Oh, human again. It really was. Really and truly was. That was the greatest gift of all. That just was like my early Christmas present, man. Secret Santa, man. That was, yeah, forever grateful. So anyway, well, I'm getting cold, and I've got to go check at my other job. So I got to drive over there and see if they need a little help, so I can get a little more time on the clock there. Because I'm gonna be short over there this week. Because I don't have enough extra days to work for them. So I hope everybody, if you're in a cold area, I hope you stay warm. I hope you've had a very blessed and profitable day today. I hope you have the same thing tomorrow. And I really appreciate you hanging out with me. Do something kind for and love everybody. And I promise